Do it again. Nico's gonna sing as well. You gonna make them sing one? Sing. Yeah. Are you a little doggy? Oh, they're having a kiss. Are you a little doggy?
You made a lot of noise there, Amelia.
You doing the little owls as well? You were doing that, going. Oh, oh, oh. Teddy and Nico are kissing. Oh, see, Phil, he wants you to sing to him again. Do you howl into the air like that? Oh. That's how they do it, isn't it? They put their head up in the air and go. Oh, maybe not that much. Phil's confused now. Just little ones. No, little ones like. Oh. Do the same as Phil.
Here we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on our intro tonight. Adorable baby girl convinces dogs to howl. And I don't know, maybe that's fitting. A lot of howling been going on for past few days. And so maybe that's a fitting opening. I don't know. LePreux, hello. Hello, Sarah. Easily distracted. Always be kind. Laura. Everybody in the chat, hello. Everybody watching, hello. Everybody watching on the on demand at a later time, hello. Singing dogs brought the lazy cat out of the bathroom. I previewed that earlier, and Doofus dog was not happy with the howling. She did not comprehend that there was not something going on that she should be part of. Hungry Camel, hello. Guy Bassett, good evening. Jungle Jane, hi. Again, hello to everybody in the chat, everybody watching, and everybody watching later. You know, some stuff's been happening that we are going to be talking about. And I want to start off with something that actually I did an episode on, I don't know, a long time ago. It's about propaganda, and specifically propaganda during war times. Okay, and I find there are some parallels to some things that I see going on, but it's not about me; it's about you. So here we go, giving you something to think about. The top 10 things of propaganda when you're in conflict. Number 1, we don't want war, okay? It's always the other people that want war. The other side is solely responsible for the war. Number 2. Number 3, the enemy has the face of the devil. You've got to dehumanize the other side, according to some. Again, these aren't my concepts. I'm just laying out what the 10 commandments of propaganda during conflict. Number 4, it is a noble cause that we defend and not particular interests. Okay, it's not about, you know, this isn't about me, this is about, you know, whatever. insert into blank. Number 5, the enemy commits atrocities knowingly. If we make mistakes, unfortunate mistakes they are, and it is totally involuntary. The enemy uses unauthorized weapons. We suffer very few losses, while the losses of the enemy are enormous. Again, just giving you things to think about. Do you see any of these things playing out in the things that that you watch? Number 8, the artists and intellectuals support our cause. Number 9, our cause has a sacred nature. And number 10, those who question our statements are traitors. If you ask a question, then you're not, you're either for us or you're against us. You're either for us or against us. You're either for us or against us. And if you're not for us, you're obviously a traitor. Do we see any of these things playing out? We see them playing out. Do we see them playing out on an international scale? Do we see them playing out within our own country? Do we see them play out within a certain community set that we all might be a part of? Again, just something to think about as we get things started here this evening. And as we always do, we'll start out with what the mainstream media thinks the breaking news is. And breaking news tonight coming out of CNN: classified documents from Biden's time as a VP has been discovered in a private office. We'll have a little bit more about that coming up. NBC News: after a brutal 5-day speaker fight, Republicans now try to govern. We'll have a little bit more about that coming up as well. From the BBC: California storm. Montecito residents are told to flee from a deadly downpour, which will spark mudslides, flooding. Not a good time. And the storms just keep rolling in, and they're eventually going to impact the entire United States. We'll talk more about that tomorrow night. Financial Times: the White House is under pressure to expel Jair Bolsonaro after the Brazilian riots. Brazil had its own January 6th yesterday, as the former president had not won re-election. He was far right wing, and people unhappy with the election results stormed Congress, took over the congressional building. If that sounds familiar, we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. Brian Walshe is held on bail. Police found a bloody knife in the home basement of a missing mother. That is becoming national news. And the 6-year-old who allegedly shot the Virginia teacher used a gun that was legally purchased by his mother. And I hope everybody in chat, stay cool in chat. I'm not paying attention to the chat at the minute. Not yet, kerfuffle. But thank you for asking. Okay, here's what the deal is. You just cannot use the two words you cannot use in the first 30 seconds of a stream, or you're done. It is queued up and it is coming up, kerfuffle. But no, you haven't missed it. I just didn't lead with it like I thought I was going to, just to make everything clear. So let's run down the Twitter bookmarks. According to Newsweek, running against Donald Trump and trying to win a Republican primary is just incredibly difficult to do, one professor told Newsweek. And then their headline actually is that the GOP, the grand old party, voters are still loyal to Trump despite waning influence over the party. A couple of things here. as far as waning influence, he was on the phone and basically had some sort of influence in what happened with the election of the new Speaker of the House, which we will be getting to. Now, he might have waning influence if he's in jail. Why do I say that? Well, a Georgia grand jury probing President Donald Trump and his allies unlawfully sought to interfere in the state's 2020 U.S. presidential election results issued its final report. But it remains unclear whether criminal charges will follow. That comes out from Reuters. This is what one of the Democrats in Congress said about the rules package that's been proposed. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. Quote, these rules are not a serious attempt at governing. They're essentially a ransom note to America from the extreme right. Even the new Speaker of the House voted to overturn the 2020 elections. The insurrectionists are in charge, end quote. And that's a quote from Representative Jim McGovern. Classified documents from Biden's time as vice president were found at a private office last fall, sources say. The matter was referred to the Justice Department. The classified documents were at a private office in a locked closet, in a safe in a locked closet, if I've got that right, and discovered last fall, and were turned in without any kind of court proceedings that demanded they be turned in. They were turned in because it was the right thing to do. And but it will be a story, as it should be, because they probably weren't handled correctly, obviously not, or they'd have been in the National Archives already. The gun allegedly used by a 6-year-old boy to shoot his teacher at a Newport News, Virginia school was legally purchased by the child's mother. Marjorie Taylor Greene's in the news, and I've got another little thing for her about her. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been locked out of her Twitter account, and her new video has been removed. Dr. Dre took legal action against her for using his music without permission. It's National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, so thank you to all of those that do actually, because I know they're out there, that do protect and serve, and do try to do the right things, and do stop and help people with flat tires, and unsung stuff that they do good, because we see so much that they don't do good. So it's National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Tip of the hat to the good ones. Friendly reminder from Ireland that fighting fascism is a social duty, not an antisocial crime. And from Harry S. Truman, show me a man that gets rich by being a politician, and I'll show you a crook. This is really disappointing. There was a gathering to mark the second anniversary of the January 6th attack, and Representative Brian Fitzpatrick was the only Republican that showed up. No other GOP member bothered to show up. I had a question about this. I made a comment that, a Republican vote could end up being the end of your Social Security and your Medicare. And somebody said I was, overreacting. Senator Ron Johnson says that, quote, senior citizens have misused Social Security, and that's why I want to sunset it, end quote. Just something to think about. I personally, I asked for, help. I asked for help keeping the channel up and keeping me up and going, because I'm on Social Security. I'm on Medicare. I'm retired. and I got cancer that keeps coming back, and without help, without, you know, it pays my internet, and I don't have a problem with saying, hey, if you like what we're doing here and you want to support the channel, Cashapp is $ americandufus, AMERICANDUFUS, all one word. And you need to know who you're supporting and who you're voting for, because it does matter. And yes, there are some in the Republican Party that want to do away with Social Security. I paid into it my whole life. It's money that was taken out of my checks my whole working life, and it should be mine. Just saying. Anyway, 6-year-old walks into a classroom and shoots the teacher. Some Americans wonder how this could happen. Others have no doubt. That is from, let me credit who that's from, because Mike from Texas. Okay, and then our Congress people locked and loaded. Why? What's the purpose? Again, just something to think about. And okay, yeah, all right. This is the stuff I. And just a reminder once again, QAnon, the videos that were all over YouTube for a while, Russian propaganda with artificial intelligence, and Peter Thiel, Jeffrey Epstein involved. Just, again, a little something to think about in case you hadn't seen that on here. I've shown that on here quite often, but just in case you hadn't seen that, something you might want to be aware of. And before I get into the chat, we've been talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I want you to, is this Marjorie Taylor Greene auditioning for American Idol? And then we'll hop into the chat for a minute and get a couple other things after this.
My name is Stephanie Sugarman. I'm from Altaloma, California. And my biggest worry right now is telling my work how I'm gonna miss Monday. Calling sick. Sorry, boss.
Now it's time for our energetic dancer, Stephanie Sugarman. Let's hope her boss isn't watching.
How are you?
Great.
Good. Okay, what do you...
Research shows nostalgia can help you remember.
I've already done this once, so that, sorry. I'll tell you what we'll just do. We'll just mute it and give it 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to our video here. Oh no. Okay. Here we go. All right.
Provolone and mozzarella.
If you had to recommend a cheese for Randy to put on his hamburger, what would you suggest?
Lazati.
Okay, what are you going to sing?
I'm gonna sing Knockin' the Boots by H-Town.
Verse and a chorus, please.
Oh, come on, turn the lights down and let me get on it. 'Cause when I do just me and you, it'll be so right, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I made it or not because they didn't say come to Hollywood.
Well, that means
But the thing
I think
is,
that's a
I'm
prerequisite.
so good
to,
though.
Yeah, we know. She's. Are you going? Is she sending her in? Oh man.
Hello? Do you have a twin?
I don't know what the hell's happening.
I was just curious if I did make it, if I'm coming to Hollywood, because I think I have what it takes.
We said no.
We said no.
But why?
Because you're not good enough.
Because you're not good enough. You're not a good singer at all.
Oh, hell no. See, the thing is, I'm right here because I'm the whole package right here. I got the looks, I got the style, and I'm the next Tina Marie or the Stephanie Sugarman right here. Let me tell you, good loving, body rocking, knocking boots all night long, making love until it's
Well, I guess she's auditioning all over again.
Stephanie.
Body rock,
Okay. Oh, Stephanie.
Stephanie, it's okay.
Listen, honey, auditions, you either get it or you don't, and you
Oh,
go
I
on
know.
to...
Well, that was certainly something, right?
Yes, that was certainly something. This is on Fair and Balanced is the name of that channel. So, before we go any farther, let's hop back over into the chat and see what everybody thinks. Not MTG. It's not her, not her. I was just going to ask if that was MTG before I saw the chat. She's a clown, not worth my time to try and fact check whether that is her or not. I'm inclined to say that it is probably not her. However, the resemblance, the voice, the privilege, I guess. I don't know. Need to see her feet. I was not expecting. I was not expecting that horse pace mandate. Okay. Back on track here. If only she won, her twin. That was 15 years ago. It could be. I find it. I'm sure everybody knows by now, but just in case somebody out there doesn't, I ran for Congress, and as deep a dive as was done on me, I can't imagine that. Well, things have changed a lot. It was 16 years ago, and we did everything a whole lot different 16 years ago than the way it's done now. So maybe there wasn't even any opposition research done, and maybe that did slip through the cracks, and maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene's not her real name. Maybe her real name's Sarah Sugarman, and we just don't know. It's something to think about. It's not an impossibility. I think it's an improbability. But did anybody know Lauren Boebert didn't graduate high school until after she'd been a congressperson for 18 months or so? I'm more concerned with why a picture of 5 members of Congress holding automatic weapons isn't more of a discussion. Again, things were a lot different when I was involved, but I got called out for Mike Pence. Mike Pence was a big NRA. NRA was a big supporter of Pence, and I got in trouble for challenging him to a target shoot. Because I'm an actual gun owner and I actually shot guns, and I'm actually a pretty decent shot, and I was actually fairly confident I would win. But as it gets spun, as everything does, and I was the evil bad guy somehow, because I wasn't running as a Republican, and yet how could I have a gun? Again, just a little insight there as far as things to think about. An MTG doppelganger. I ran as an independent on the Democratic ticket. My campaign was based on 3 words: people before profits. And I'm a gun owner. I believe in secure borders, and I didn't fit, and I still don't. I didn't fit fully on one side or the other. And I just wanted to see progress. I initially got involved trying to stop a war in Iran because I felt the focus should have always been in Afghanistan and never in Iran. But it was proven right eventually. But yeah, that's what originally got boots on Semi-automatic fact check. Okay. Semi-automatic. My bad. Yeah, I'm sorry. I misspoke. I know what you're talking about. I said automatic, and it's not automatic. They can be relatively easily transformed into automatics with just little plastic pieces, but semi-automatics. But yeah, I don't know. How serious are you about advancing legislation? Anyway, that to me that ought to be somewhere in the mix. You know, it is political theater. It is Hollywood for ugly people. You know, that's just a saying that has been around forever and ever and ever. You know, they're actors that big money's responsible for everything. I'm not going to tell you everything that I know. I'm not going to get on here and tell you how the sausage is made. I will tell you that if you watch certain shows, you will find, and you check and see who the contributors to those shows are, who the writers on those shows were. You will find a lot of truth in the fiction that is written about Washington, D.C., including in the books, in my book right over the shoulder here. It's called American Land of the Greed, Home of the Grave. And you can get an autographed copy from me for $25 through Cashapp, or you can get it on Amazon worldwide and most other bookstores. Lots of good journalists who talked out against invading Iraq. Yes, there were. Hi, Curtis. Good to have you on here, man. I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. I was on another channel last night. I was watching Rooster Doll, and Rooster, for those that are part of all of this 1776 opposition, Twin Tweaks, As the Poop Bucket Turns, whatever names. You know Rooster as WYSIWYG's mod, one of WYSIWYG's mods. Rooster and Kerfuffle Wizzy always said he had the sexiest mods on the internet. And Rooster has a channel on Sunday nights. She does lore. She does a deep dive into a character that's been around for a long, long time on the internet. And if you're just a casual user of social media, there's a lot of stuff goes on you don't have a clue that goes on. And I will say that I did not have a clue to a lot of the things that I saw last night on Rooster's channel. And I know I'm not the only one because of other chats. I saw a lot of parallels in what was going on in those documentaries that Rooster was sharing with what's going on around all of this amoeba that is the 1776, the convoy, the 1776, and the oppositions. And yeah. And then, I mean, we saw darkness. And Rooster warned us. Rooster kept saying, you know, it just gets weirder. And then something would happen. It was like, okay, there it is. That's the weird thing. And oh, I'm warning you, it just gets weirder. and she warned us, and it got weirder, and it got weirder, and it got weirder, and then it got more weird, and then it switched to a different topic, and it got incredibly funny. So I don't know if she's trying to grow her channel or not, but Sunday nights, Rooster Doll, ROOSTERDOLL, all one word. You'll find her on YouTube, and you'll learn some things. And the same thing with G. Abbott's Basement. You'll learn some things, just saying. And I've said that for a few days as well now. Got in a panel and went to bed. It was some funny stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing the power of social media and the power of the internet and the power of both elevating and leveling. And it's amazing. G is a very smart woman. Yes. CKM. Okay. CKM. I have Kerfuffle will explain. We're going to play your song here in a couple of minutes. Actually, I was kind of setting up what I saw last night. Might have been one of the meanest young people I've ever seen, and I ran across this, and I just thought, well, it kind of ties the two experiences together.
And if you enjoyed this, leave a like on it and subscribe or follow for more. This did not cure my depression. Make sure you leave a like on this video and you subscribe so you can keep bringing the sadness to light.
The whole time I was seeing him, I was kind of just using it as a psychology experiment, and I didn't really like the guy. I more just wanted to see if I could break his heart. And it was fun.
So did you break his heart then?
Just a wee bit. I hope I did a little damage.
Wow. Okay. Why do you hope that you did a little damage?
I like humbling men.
You like humbling men?
Yeah. It's like my pastime.
Your pastime is humbling men?
Mm-hmm.
You do work at the Spearmint Rhino, so at a strip club, so do you humble men there?
No, I take their money.
My name's According, and if you enjoyed this, leave a like on it.
Okay, the reason I played that is because the title is Meet the Most Evil Woman Alive. That's not the most evil woman alive. That's like, 12 of my 15 past relationships. I'm just using him as a psychological experiment. I never really liked the guy, and I was hoping to, totally break him. No, I'm teasing. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I don't think that's the most evil person in the world there, what we just saw, because simply, again, some of the stuff that has gone on the internet has been evil. And go watch Rooster's show from last night to see for yourself. Why is she evil? Just because she likes to humble men? That's my question. It was a young guy doing the interview, and a young guy doing, saying that she's the most evil person in the world. I played it because I just found an incredible juxtaposition of where that's what they think is evil and what is actually some of the things that actually go on that are actually evil, and just the fact that a lot of things get inflated and a lot of things get blown up to much bigger things than they actually are. Young City, what up? Been a while, man. Good to see you. Andrew Murray. Hello. Okay. We are going to listen to. This is the latest from CKM Music, and when I first heard the song, and I didn't listen to the lyrics. I don't remember what I was doing. I was doing something else, and I just listened to the sound, and it took me back to The Sopranos and the opening of The Sopranos. I absolutely loved The Sopranos, and the song at the beginning is a killer song. All that being said, this is the latest from CKM Music. It's called Elf Foof Wreck.
You make me wanna do this thing that I've heard others call a sin. Just taste of your skin, swallow you whole, to drink you in. All these things I want to show. They're God, should never know, should never know. I'll take you fast, I'll take you slow. I'll take you anywhere you wanna go. Don't come here, you bear it all. Don't make me push you foot up against the wall. This may be right, this may be wrong. Trying to fuck you with a song. I like the way you move around. How you play, can't make a sound. I'm gonna hold you to the ground. So sit down and take that pound. I'm gonna split your lips in two while I spit into your mouth. And as I conquer you, setting fire to yourself, I wanna drown you fucking slow and fucking long. This may be right, this may be wrong, but I loved you all along. This may be right, this may be wrong, but I loved you all along. But I loved you all along. But I loved you all along. I have loved you all along.
There you go. Lust of the Machine Elves. The latest from CKM Music. The one and the only, yes. BTM Sparky, Natural Born Killers. It does have a little bit of a Natural Born Killers vibe to it. Reminds me of an episode of Modern Family. I want to do you do you. Hey CKM, thank you, man. So many talented people, you know. There's been some incredible ugliness come out of that little amoeba thing I was talking about earlier that like has just kind of evolved out of what actual real YouTube is, and we're all kind of in this little thing over here. And there's some ugliness, and there's still ugliness, and the ugliness is going on probably as we speak somewhere, but the creativity, the imagination, the laughter, the thought-provoking, the stuff that is the positive stuff that has come out of all of this is pretty incredible, in my opinion. Love always, I say. I agree with that, CKM. And I've written songs. I still write lyrics. I'm in contact with the guys I played with, and so I know a little something. All right. And those words and that melody kind of define, in my opinion, they kind of define the current age of the internet. A lot of, all the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? How many times do you hear someone say, oh my gosh, I'm just lonely, So a lot of interaction happens internet-wise, and relationships develop, and you become, you become concerned about people and interested in people, and the whole point is, let's not forget about offline, and make sure that we're not just totally consumed with online, for everybody's mental health. Make sure you get offline, make sure you get outside, make sure you exercise, make sure you're taking care of yourself. But, things that easily get forgotten when you get consumed and absorbed into something. And again, not telling you what to do or how to do it, what to think, how to think, just giving you things to think about. I want to meet the machine elves. I kind of like to do that too, Bunny. In other words, get your ass offline sometimes and go enjoy this beautiful world, because you make a difference in it every time you show up. Summer's a real one. By the way, Summer is going to be having a stop trafficking rally and protest on the 21st of January, I believe. I don't have it in front of me, but she'll let me know if I'm wrong. Yeah, we need to, disconnect, and it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that you can't. I think most people can tell when somebody's real on the internet, when somebody's doing something like what we're doing here. I think people can tell when somebody's real as compared to when somebody is not. And the internet, one thing about the internet, you're not going to be able to get away with not being real forever. You may get away with it for a really short time, but there's too many people that dig, and by dig I mean investigate, and they're good. So, if you stick your nose in something, now I consider what I do with the 1776, with the opposition, with all of this stuff, I consider what I do reporting. I don't direct people on actions. I don't, I just report on what happens. I occasionally give an opinion, but I'm an observer. There are people sticking their noses in areas where they could find themselves damaged. All right. And again, I refer back to Rooster's video documentary. And I think what she put up Sunday night was incredibly important, because I think it's a lesson that some people might want to at least observe before getting too deep into delighting at trying to bring the downfall of people. I'm just saying it might end up being your own downfall. BTM Sparky Madness is in here, and she's all the time saying that life's a boomerang, and what you throw out is going to come back at you. If you are not being real, it's going to come back at you. If you're being evil, it's going to come back at you. If you're trying to understand and you have legitimate questions, that's how it ought to be. We shouldn't be attacking people. We should be challenging them. Not necessarily berating them, but holding them accountable. And Telescope's trying to do that. He's trying to get the BTM spirit back in his channel, which is behind the lens instead of behind the mirror. Now, sometimes it gets out of control because, you get too many people on there and everybody's starting to scream. So with that being said, Monday nights from now on are going to be debate night here at the end of, after all the news and everything else. I'm going to offer to moderate debates. It's not going to be a formal Oxford style debate, but it's going to be based on that, in that there's an issue and one person's on one side of the issue and one person's on the other side, and they communicate back and forth within time frames and addressing each other. Now, it doesn't mean you can't get loud. It doesn't mean you can't be passionate. It just means it's going to be controlled so that people can learn from it and so that everybody can hear everything. And I'm just putting it out there. If nobody wants to do it, that's fine. I got other things to do. But I think there might be a need for such a segment. All right, at least once a week, somewhere where there's going to be a controlled exchange of ideas from people on opposite sides. I'm just throwing it out there. If you want to take part, let me know. If not, like I said, I got a lot of other things. So that's what Monday's going to be. Wednesdays, we try to have GA from CA and Cunning Stun on, and I can't help but smile when I think of those two ladies. Thursday night, we have game night. And so Tuesdays, what are we going to do Tuesdays? Well, I'm thinking really serious about Tuesday being bubble bath night. That, no, I'm not thinking that at all. But hey, bubble baths are a thing to some people. And I'm not going to be disparaging to bubble baths, but I just don't think it's necessarily something that should be widely broadcast on the internet. BTM Sparky. Yeah. Depression is a hard road for many. Catawampus. Yes. Without a doubt. Yeah, I can testify to it. Yeah. But you get by with a little help from your friends. And medication from doctors and therapy and realizing there is a world out there and that you have value. That's a problem for a lot of us. A lot of us forget that, you know, we have value. We have things we can contribute. We have talents. We have skills. We have ideas. We have inspirations. And too often, for lack of a better word, darkness suffocates all of the goodness. And to me, that's kind of a definition of what depression is the darkness just consumes and becomes an obstacle and becomes a deterrent and eventually becomes an absolute trap that you may think you can drink your way out of, or you may think you can medicate your way out of, and proper medication helps, but it's got to be with professionals. It's got to be done right, and and the first step is realizing something has to be done. I wasn't intending on speaking on any of this, but Filosa, left or right, generally most people on this corner of the internet I've met are good-intentioned humans. Yeah, you know, for the most part, I agree. And I've gotten hate. I've gotten death threats. I've gotten the channel taken down. It didn't last, but it was temporarily taken down. There are good people. There are people that followed the convoy, followed 1776, and then saw something and went, "Oh my gosh, what was I thinking?" You know, we can't judge those people based upon what they believed before they saw what was actually happening. And there are more and more and more of those people all the time. There really are. And if they come away from 1776 and the first thing that happens is they're attacked, well, that's not a positive. We got to learn to communicate with each other. We got to learn to talk with each other. Telescope, man, putting up 20-hour streams, putting up 10-hour streams, 12-hour streams, because people are talking to each other. Yeah, it gets crazy, but that's what the BTM was like in its prime. It was going back and forth. It was exchanging ideas. It was okay to disagree with somebody. If you've been watching, remember what we said at the very beginning, the 10 things. The very bottom one was, if you don't believe as I believe, then you are a traitor. We're being pushed to extremes. And the government is not going to stop it. The media is not going to stop it. The only way it gets pushed back is if we push back on it by showing them it does not work 100% of the time. There are enough of us. There is a majority of us that really are in the middle, not on either extreme, that do understand that there are differences in our country, and we would like to celebrate those differences, not quash them into non-existence. There are people that are accepting of people that are different from them. There are more than enough of us if we can break through and rehumanize instead of constantly demonizing. It's not going to be 100%. It's never 100%. But it could be enough to make a difference. It could. I believe that. All right. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock in my bubble bath. We'll see if I have tattoos or not. I'll be playing some Barry White in the background. Oh, baby, love me, baby, do me, oh, baby. We'll be on here tomorrow night. I might have a guest on. I've been talking with somebody that I would really like to have on, and might have a surprise guest on tomorrow night. I don't know. If not, we'll be back here at 10 o'clock tomorrow night doing the big show, telling you what's going on in the news briefly. Not telling you how to think or what to think, just giving you things to think about. And until then, BTM Sparky channel, my girl Summer, Rooster, G Abbott, and of course Telescope. I think Jeff is doing the late night stuff for Insomniacs. There are people that are trying to spark conversations and communications, and they're all doing their own things. On this channel, I wanna do it at a level that everybody can hear what's being said, and that it's okay to disagree. It doesn't mean you're evil, doesn't mean you're wicked, doesn't mean I'm evil, doesn't mean I'm wicked. There's only you and me, and we just disagree. And it's okay to disagree on things. Certain things. There are things that have to be, there are things that are, sorry, that's a deal breaker. But it's always going to be that way. Most of us all have the same deal breakers. Most of us all have the same things we would like to see, or we would like to experience, or we would like to live in a country that has. There's a lot more common ground. And there are a lot of entities that don't want us to ever reach common ground on anything. And that's just something to think about. Thank you, Kerfuffle. Thank you for being here. Again, I'll talk to CKM. I'd love to have you on here. I'd love to have Rooster on here. I'd like to have both of you on here at the same time and talk about some of the lore of the Wizzy channel, because that stuff was impactful, and I think people would like to hear the We're Still Mods for Wizzy. Okay. All right. Do I need to talk to Wizzy to see if you guys can come on then? I don't know how it works, but I just like to have a conversation. Oh, I see what you're saying. Wizzy's going to be back. Okay, got you. It's not Wizzy lore necessarily. I get you, I think. Good for you, Patricia. Good for you. Kerfuffle, you got a great song. Rooster's channel is Rooster Doll. All one word. And there are ways, there are sources, there are, if you're, music. If you are depressed and there's absolutely nothing else, try music. Try music. Try a different style of music than you've ever listened to before. A different form of music. Music from another country. Music from another another cultural group. I got some stuff going on. This is all this stuff matters to me, and it matters to me even more because people that I know are experiencing some very, very dark things, and I don't want any more people experiencing it than are now, and I think we could all help each other. And I think it starts by just trying to be a little bit nicer to each other. Now, if somebody's an absolute freaking jerk, no hope. You know, it's like arguing with a fence post. You don't even talk. You just remove yourself or you remove them. But those kind of people, when they get marginalized, they turn on each other. Let's do that. Let's just marginalize all those kind of people. And let's start building communities of positivity that want to progress our country, that want to progress humanity, that understand that if I cut my finger, it's going to bleed the same color as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's finger, a 7-foot tall guy compared to a 5'10" guy. The hate, the impact that I've seen. I wish I could go back 40 years, back to the 80s, and yell at people about the promises that we had made in the 70s and that were made in the 60s about having a better world, a cleaner world. We had Earth Day. We were into recycling. We were going to have clean energy. We were going to do all these things. And didn't follow through. But I can't. I can't do that. All I can do is get on here and say, here's the mistakes that have been made. Let's try to rectify those mistakes and let's try to move forward. Reach out to her. I will, Kerfuffle. I will. And haven't said anything about this. Ant got arrested today. For those that don't yet know, Ant got arrested today. He was at a hearing, I'm told, for getting the restraining order removed. That hearing was continued. However, he was arrested for assault on David Rydell in Berkeley County, Virginia. He has been released, and so he's not going to be held for 90 days. And there's all kinds of rumors. There's all kinds of, and that's just part of all of this. If we're going to keep being involved in all this, we need to filter. We need to, shake it like you're baking a cake. You need to filter the flour, sift it. You need to sift the flour. And we got to do that because the truth is often covered up in a whole bunch of things. Flour's just a metaphor, but we got to make sure we're always sifting down till we have the truth. And the truth is, he was not held for 90 days. I think that's about it on Ant. not assault. Okay. That's Monica. I'm just saying that's what I was told, that it was based on the assault in Bunker Hill the same day that the gun was drawn and all that happened. So that's what I was told, that it wasn't for violating a restraining order. But like I said, if what I said wasn't the truth, I'll sift it down and I'll have the truth and I'll correct myself, because that's what we do on here. If I say something that wasn't correct, I will come back and correct it. Linda Lou. It was battery, not assault. Thank you. Linda Lou. Lori's channel did not get canceled. Lori did not get taken down. I have been in communication with Lori, and Lori will be talking in due time when Lori's ready. So, and that's the truth. I don't have to say, okay, truthfully, or okay, I'm going to be real honest with you. You know, somebody that's constantly saying that, you have to ask, are they, you know, okay, if every time you don't say honestly, or I'm going to be 100% truthful with you, that you're not being truthful. I don't think people see that in themselves, that is how they're being read. Reminds me of a movie Richard Pryor was in, and you probably haven't seen this movie. It was called Moving, and it was about him selling his house and him buying a new house. And in the movie, he's buying a house, and the guy keeps telling him, you know, I'm taking out all the fixtures, you know, and then he say, oh, just kidding. And no, I'm not there, you know, I'm taking all the doors with me. Oh, just kidding. And when Richard Pryor gets to the house, everything the guy said he was taking, he had taken, despite the fact he said was just kidding. So whenever you're hearing somebody constantly say, okay, I'm going to tell you the truth, you know, okay, 100% truth here. Okay, well, honestly, or to be perfectly honest with you, you know, if they're constantly saying those things, that might be a red flag. Just something to think about. Yes, Lori is doing things on her time. That's a good way of putting it, Summer. All right. Well, I will be back tomorrow night at 10 Eastern Standard Time, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, 7 Pacific, and I may be in a bubble bath. I may not. No, I will not be in a bubble bath. It's just so, some things are absurd, and you have to joke about them. Yes, Lori's channel is still up. Yes. Yes, he's taking the swimming pool. Mater saw the movie. Oh, yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow night at 10 Eastern Standard Time. We'll do this all over again. And again, I'm hoping to have a guest on. But like I said, Rooster's channel, I honestly believe what she put up last night should be a warning to a lot of people at how serious, if just one evil person decides that you are not worth anything and they come after you, and you're not prepared. You're not prepared. That's a key part of it. You know, a lot of people haven't been online for a long time and don't know what can actually happen. And for those of you in that situation, watch Rooster's episode last night. Subscribe to Rooster, subscribe to Telescope, subscribe to G. Abbott's Basement. Who am I missing? I'm sure I'm missing people. CKM Music, of course, and all the creatives, you know, Baldy Banks and Jerry Garcia and Mumbling Melons and Meanwhile and Restoration or Reenactment with Dolls. Like I said, man, there's so many creatives. It's great to be involved with and be able to experience their gifts, the creativity they have. And there's Telescope now. Are you still up, Telescope? I'm getting ready to shut down. I'm going to tell everybody to go to your channel if you're still up. Dude's been doing marathons trying to ignite conversations and doing some good work. The links to let me see if I can't yeah, Telly's still up. Let me put the link up to Telly's channel. Everybody head over there. That was Telly's channel right there. Again, it's behind okay. It's behind the lens instead of behind the mirror. That's Telly's channel right there, I think. Okay, it's Rooster's channel that's up on Telly's channel. Okay. All right, that I'm pretty sure what I just put up was okay, there's Rooster's. Summer's got Rooster's link up to go and subscribe to her channel, and I put up Telly's right here. So Telescope behind the lens. And we'll be back doing it tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. I hope you'll join us for another episode of Doofus After Dark on the American Doofus channel. I'm Barry Welsh. I'm your host. There is G. Abbott's channel right there. And hold on a second. I'll drop CKM Music here at the end too. There you go. That's CKM Music right there. And that should be everybody's links. Well, not everybody's, but it's a start. We'll be back tomorrow night. I love you all. It's a dark world. It really is. Try to be a light. Be a light for yourself. Be a light for other people. Be a light for the world. I love you.